Hello and welcome to Mee Gindys.
This is a programme where me, Beth,
And myself, H.
we go out and about really and find out about things around the Isle of Man. Those sort of things that we really have always wondered about.
Which indeed is the name of the programme. I wonder if you've got any ideas, let us know, but anything is appreciated. And so a bit of a special this week, I would say.
It is, and this genuinely is one of those things that I have always wondered about. We'll hear about it in just a moment, but suffice to say, it is a landmark in the Isle of Man that many of us will have walked past or at least seen from a distance, somewhere very prominent, and we get to have a sneaky peek inside. More about that in just a minute, but also, as usual, we have another challenge this week, and this one went rather well, actually.
It did, yeah. You were almost surprised. It's always difficult for trying to find something. It's all a case of, do we use the ones that don't work or not, which are quite a few, or just use the ones that work? I mean, it's tempting to show all the ones that don't, but I don't know how interesting that is when something doesn't work.
I think it's your face and your disappointment, which is so palpable, that
There's one we've
makes
been
it
trying
amusing.
for weeks now, and I still haven't got it to work.
No, it will work one day.
It is.
One day.
It's yeah. If you're a certain age and you remember the How programme on TV, you know the sort of level we're aiming at with these things. But yes, indeed. But yeah, it's short and sweet, but it does work, which is the most important thing. More of that later on. But first off, well, are we heading north?
I think we are.
This was the driveway. Can you see the abandoned cottage?
Oh, yeah.
Oh gosh, yes. Down the far end through the trees. So we should say, Beth, we're up north. Go on, this is one of yours.
It is one of mine. This is one of those places that I've walked past several times and thought, I wonder what it's like in there. And I am just so pleased. This is one of the things I love about our job sometimes, is that we can find the people who've got the keys and who've got the way into places like this. So we have just parked at the Blue Reservoir car park. We're going to cross the road here and we're heading up to Albert Tower.
Wow. In the company of?
Peter Bayton,
Aha.
Blue Badge Guide.
Blue Badge Guide?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. See, I didn't even know the Albert Tower had a Blue Badge Guide. That's how ignorant I was. So is this something you've done for a long time or something you've taken up sort of recently?
I'm a whole island Blue Badge Guide,
Oh,
and
my
I've been
goodness,
doing it for 3 years now.
So you don't specialise in one particular area or?
Well, the Albert Tower is one of my specialities, and I have been up there once before, so today will be my second experience. And what we're planning to do is, in Manx National Heritage Open Days, on the first 2 Fridays of October, the plan is that the Albert Tower will be open to parties of the public for the first time since 1945.
Wow. That's quite something, isn't it?
That is incredible.
There should be a queue, I would hope. It's amazing.
Well, it's 4 at a time, and
Yeah.
you've got to register in advance, but I should imagine as soon as the bookings open, it'll be gone within half an hour.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so as well. So we are rather privileged, Beth,
We
as you
really
suggest.
are.
So we'll march on, we'll cross the road and
Okay.
we'll go and see what we can see.
Brilliant.
Health and safety. It is still quite busy, of course, because it's not quite TT yet, but as you can hear, fair amount of traffic. So are there several ways to get to the tower, or is there basically one route which we're taking now, or can you go various other routes?
You can go various other routes. The best route to take, if you've got the time, is the route that Prince Albert took
Aha,
back in 1847.
marching in royal footsteps.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, right back in the eye at the moment, if you've been watching Victoria on TV. I haven't. I don't know whether they actually will do the. I take it they won't do the visit to the Isle of Man. They're doing Crystal Palace the other day. Have you been watching that, Beth?
Do you know, I haven't. I must go back and watch it though, because I think the Victorian era is just absolutely fascinating. Oh look, there's a run-down farm building there.
Some great gates.
But yeah, so what, I mean, I've heard about the visit to the Isle of Man, and I think, is it true, Peter, that Queen Victoria stayed on the boat because she felt too ill?
That's right. Yes.
Is that not weird?
No, it's fine.
In fact, the reason that the Royal Yacht came into Ramsey Bay was that it was September the 20th, 1847, so we had equinoctial easterly gales overnight, and Victoria had been very seasick, so the captain decided to put into Ramsey Bay. The plan was to go to Douglas, where the red carpet was out.
Of course, yes, that's right.
But
I do remember that.
Ramsey had to hastily reorganise themselves and greet the Queen. So the Lord Bishop happened to be in Ramsey that night, so he got together with one or two locals and quickly wrote a speech. And they rowed out to the ship, presented the speech to the Queen.
Yeah.
And at that point, Prince Albert decided he would like to go up yonder hill to have a look back at Scotland, if he could see it, where they'd been spending their holidays. And he said to the oarsman, "Don't row me to that pier. There's hundreds of people. Go a bit further south, down the beach there." So the boat moored at Ballure, and they set off from there to climb up the tower through Ballure Glen up to this hill called Lurgy Fristle. And when they got to the top, he stopped and had a look at the view, and he said, "Sie sollen ein Aussichtsturm hier bauen. You should build a lookout tower here." Actually, when he'd got off the boat at Ballure, he was looking for a guide to take him up there. And there was the Ramsey barber, Thomas Quiggin, and his customer, Thomas Cubban. He approached them and said, "Would you like to lead me up yonder hill?" And they said, "Fine." So the barber and the man with half a beard led him up to this place. And that's when he said, "You should build a lookout tower here."
That's exactly what happened over the years, and of course now it's a famous, iconic, shall we say, landmark on the Isle of Man. Certainly iconic for Ramsey, one that everyone has seen, and I suspect, which is coming back to what you were saying a bit earlier, everyone will have seen it. Very few people probably know a huge amount or have actually been in it or around it.
That's absolutely right, yes. When the guides got back to Ramsey, they informed the great and the good of Ramsey what the Prince had said, and within 2 weeks a committee was formed. And within 3 weeks after that, they had collected £300, which in today's money is approaching £40,000.
Wow.
Now, I don't suppose you could build that tower for £40,000 now.
Not easily.
But that was a huge amount of money
Yes,
to
it was.
collect. There were donations ranging from 1 shilling to £50, and they did it.
That's amazing, isn't it? And here we are, as we've been talking. We've been getting closer to the tower in the sunlight. Did you organise the weather, Beth, did you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did my best. And I think, I have not disappointed. The forecast was for showers, actually. But
It was.
all right. Sun always shines in Ramsey, though, doesn't it?
Well, so they say. Lovely. So we are right at the base of the tower now, so we've come across, like I said, across the road, come down the scenic path, although as you heard Trevor explaining, you can come other ways as well. We're right at the base of the tower now. Have you actually been around it?
No, we come up here, as I say, quite
Yeah.
often on family walks. I've never been in it. And so, yes, just always found it fascinating. How long did it take to build, Peter?
2 years.
Gosh, that's not bad, is it?
Yes, 2 years. So it was the 20th of September 1847 when the Prince came up here, and it was opened on the 24th of July 1849.
Goodness. And then, so when it was first opened, was it purely as a sort of just a landmark, a memorial, or was it more of a tourist attraction? What was it actually used for?
It was designed as a tourist attraction so that people could see the views around. I mean, on a really good day, you can see the Lakeland Hills and southern Scotland, so it's a really great view, as well as the background of our Isle of Man as well.
Yes, that's even more to the point, isn't it, I suppose? And so it operated as a tourist attraction. People, would they pay to go up?
You paid sixpence
Sixpence?
to go up, and up until 1939, there was an ice cream stand outside every summer's day, anyway.
Great. We're going to bring the ice cream stand back when they have the open days, do you think?
That's a good idea. I'll have to phone a friend.
Oh, rather like that idea. It's splendid. And yeah, it's, again, when you get close to it, like a lot of these things, it's in fantastic nick, it has to be said first off. Someone's been looking after it. That can't have stood there like that for 100 odd years in that nick. It's just, well, it looks like new.
Well, it can't have done it. I mean, initially, when it opened, it was owned or taken over then from 1865 onwards. It's taken over by Ramsey Town Commissioners, and it is their emblem. isn't it?
It is, yeah, that's right.
But they're clever Ramsey Town Commissioners, because in 1981 they sold it to the Isle of Man government trustees. And if you take a look at the windows at the top there, they are new this year. It took some 6 to 8 weeks to install them. At what cost, I don't know.
But yes, I suppose it's one of these things when you're maintaining something like this, it's obviously cost is important, but I mean, the bottom line is, as you say, it's iconic. It's something that's been here for an awfully long time. It's part and parcel of Ramsey, and yeah, and it's doing its proud, I must admit. Yeah. You videoing as well? Oh, well done.
We are going to have some photographs and video on the Manx Radio Facebook
Excellent.
page, but I am just very eager to have a look inside.
Okay.
Can we go in?
Well,
Okay.
don't get too excited.
I am excited.
Right, lovely. Can we head that way?
Absolutely brilliant. And we must just say thank you so much to Peter and Trevor for organising that. I think I was effusively grateful, if that's a term, because it really is.
Good, yeah. You just made it
such.
up.
I have actually. It is just one of those places that I have always wondered about going inside. And lovely to think that actually you will be able to go inside there too in those open days, the first 2 Fridays in October.
Although
we'll
I
talk a
think they're
little
gonna
bit
be-
more about that.
They're going to be hotly contested, I think.
Yeah,
on
and
a
there's only
first-come,
4
first-served
people allowed.
basis,
As
so-
we will discover, it is, space is limited inside, and you have to be fairly physically fit as well. So that is something to bear in mind. But isn't Peter a wonderful Blue Badge guide? I can imagine that his tours around the Isle of Man are just filled with facts and knowledge, and he makes it very easy for you to follow what he's saying and to, take in everything.
Yeah, I know, I agree, and it all sounds a wonderful job, and he makes it sound very easy. But I always think, part of me thinks I wouldn't mind doing that, but the other part thinks I don't think I'd remember everything. I'd start
No.
wandering off in Peel somewhere and say, well, of course, this was built in 1840, 50, 21, 4, 3. I suppose it's a bit like radio, isn't it? If you say everything with conviction, and often enough, people will believe it, and just chances are 99. You can fool, most of the people most of the time, but not all the people all the time, as this.
Is that what happens on radio, is it?
So I'm told. I mean, not on Manx Radio,
Well,
obviously.
Probably won't go on about
Other
that anymore.
stations do
Maybe,
exist, so I'm
maybe.
told.
This is Mee Gindys on Manx Radio. You may be wondering how this programme is still going. Sometimes I do. But one of the things that we do on a weekly basis is a challenge. And we keep saying, if you've got any suggestions for challenges that are, within reason, obviously, we'll give anything a go. Do get in touch and let us know. We're particularly fond of the little science experiments that you might have done
Well,
as
the
a
ones you can
child.
do a little video that's something safe, obviously, but just looks interesting or peculiar or fascinating. You think, how does that work?
Yeah, well, safe is our watchword as ever. So on to today's one.
Okay, so another challenge today, and we thought we'd change places and get Miss Espy completing her shades, even though she's inside. But
It's sunny outside.
It's sunny outside. But today we're going to do a little challenge on what's resonance, I suppose. This one, isn't it? It's the old glass ringing trick.
Right.
So down here we have 2 of our best wine glasses. I'll come around to this other side a little bit. There we go. And a little bit of water in one. And we all know the old wine. So can you do it? You can't you wet your fingers. Yeah, you're good
Right.
at that. And getting in, and then you get the glass to ring. So give a demonstration. Yes, look at that. A pro. Okay. And the idea is if you've got another glass there, which is the same size, that will resonate in harmony with the one you're ringing. And we can demonstrate that by, you have a handy cocktail stick. So if you balance that there,
Okay.
and if you start ringing the first one, that second one should either move or fall into the glass. Hey! And there it goes. How about that?
That's very clever.
It worked.
That did work.
The wonders of science, eh? One you can try at home. Just don't use your mum's best glasses.
Although, having said that, unless you actually use a reasonable wine glass, it doesn't work at all because you've got to get them to resonate. I tried it first off with just some cheap ones, and of course they didn't work, they won't ring.
Oh, well, there you go. But one that probably works better visually. We will
Well, you
put
could
that
hear it.
video
You could hear
on
it.
the Manx Radio Facebook. But yeah, it was. But seeing the cocktail stick go was quite exciting.
It was.
Anyway, let's head back up north now then.
So here we go. There's a gate right at the base of the tower. So we can pop through here.
You read the inscription
Here we go.
up there.
And I'll get Beth to read it because she's got better eyes than me.
Albert Tower, created on the spot where HRH Prince Albert stood to view Ramsey and its neighbourhood during the visit of Her Most Gracious Majesty Queen Victoria in Ramsey Bay, the 20th of September 1849. No, 1847.
That's very good. And you read that from the Roman numerals straight off, did you?
I did, yes, I did.
She's cleverer than she looks, you know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So there's the commemoration plaque, and above it, 3 legs. That was original as well. Put at the same time.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it was. And the foundation stone, which is, I believe, that step,
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
that was laid on Easter Monday in 1848. And the great and the good of Ramsey brought a special trowel on a crimson cushion, and they carried it all the way up Lurgy Fristle, and underneath that foundation stone there is a glass bottle with various essentials of life.
Wow, like a time capsule.
From 1847, exactly like a time capsule.
Goodness me.
I don't suppose we'll ever know what's in
Well,
there.
I was just thinking that no one's ever going to dig it up, are they?
No,
Never. I mean,
no.
not in your lifetime, my lifetime, Beth's grandchildren's lifetime. I mean, who's going to dig it up? Well, we hope it'll be there for a long time. But of course, now we're all thinking, what's in it? Yes. How fascinating. That's great, because the Blue Peter one only lasted about 40 or 50 years.
I know, it did, didn't it?
This has been here a lot longer, and we don't know. Right, so here we go, just in through the door. Ah, so there's a step. So we're right onto the staircasing here, the stone stairs, a narrow staircase curling up. Wow, great. So it's benefit in the window is it's somewhat lighter than going up Corrin's Tower, which is nice. And you've got a banister, even better. And Peter's counting. Oh, he is anyway, because I'm not counting, so I don't know how many steps there were. Did you count?
I didn't count.
Oh, right. Yeah, this is nice. Ah, and here we go. So look at that.
Not a bad one.
So we're up onto a lovely observation platform, been nicely redone. And, oh goodness me, look at that over towards the Ramsey there. Now, did you count?
57 steps,
57 steps.
plus the loft ladder.
Oh wow, yes there is. There's another. Yes, there's another ladder going upstairs as well, beyond here. But this is the main platform, and Beth's busy. Hopefully we'll get some of these pictures up on the site. You can see some of the views from the actual top of the tower. And we've chosen a pretty good day, and you can see right out. You can see the spread of Ramsey as well. You can see how it's grown a little bit, I think, since Albert was here.
I think it will have done a little bit, yeah, but what a view. You can see Murray Park straight away, and you just think, goodness me, the Victorians really knew what they were doing when it came to building, didn't they? The architecture, just wonderful. And you can see why it's called Royal Ramsey looking at it from here.
Yeah, you really do admire the view, and it is. You can see how it's grown, but equally you can see across to maybe areas of the island that wouldn't have changed that much, because you can see over towards the green fields, looking back down south again. And again, you can look out towards the sea, where presumably the royal ship would have been moored. And then you go the other way, again you can look out over the plantations, over towards the course. It is quite spectacular, isn't it? Yes, you can see why they would have wanted to put a tower up here, can't you? And you can sort of see the reason why the tower is where it is.
Yes, it's the ideal place for it, isn't it, really? And Albert was right to say, build a tower here.
Yeah, he was no fool, I must admit. And again, it has been, as we were just talking with Trevor before, it has been beautifully maintained. And these new windows we were talking about, with vents coming through as well, so they've been carefully thought out. So you've got nice window frames in keeping with the building, but you've got the vents down the bottom to let some air flow through, so it works out very nicely indeed. And there's loft as well, so it almost looks like a bell tower up there or something. Sounds good. Which is at the top. Let's go and take a look. So this is a steeper staircase going right up to the very top of the tower. Still got the handrail. And then your head pops out, Jack-in-the-Box style, out the top. Goodness me. And there is a little ledge and a grab handle there. Wow.
You all right there?
I'm all right here, yeah. I'm going to crawl onto the outside if I can. Sit easy. Wow. Now that's it. Now we are at the very top. You can probably hear the wind a little bit blowing right by the battlements. You've got to be a little careful because there's some screws around by the side of the wall, and there's some aerials as well on top. Goodness. And that's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, that is absolutely incredible. You can see Ramsey Pier just jutting out there. We picked a perfect day for it.
We did actually. I thought, didn't think it was going to be that good.
No. You can imagine on a really clear day just how far you'd be able to see. It's a little bit cloudy out yonder, but
It is a bit. So there are some electronics. So this is Manx Telecom equipment, we're saying? This is for phone equipment, is it? Or yeah. So a perfect spot, I suppose, to be right at the top of the tower. Don't ask me what it does, but obviously it's very modern compared to the rest of it, but you can see why it's here, and that it's got an uninterrupted spread in 360 degrees right the way around. So have you been to the top many times? Do you get up here often, Peter?
Only once before. It was a very interesting day that we could see a bit, even more than we can see today. That was absolutely perfect. I should just mention that on the opening day in 1849, we're told that some 3,000 people gathered in the market square and surroundings in Ramsey for the trip up here. But guess what? It was another horrendous day with gales. 515 passengers had set sail on Mona's Isle, a paddle steamer from Douglas, to get here. But it couldn't dock, so they missed the ceremony. So you get the sense of Douglas losing out a bit in this story, don't you? Yeah. Because on the day when Prince Albert arrived unexpectedly in Ramsey, the governor ordered an express coach to get into Ramsey, and he was coming down the Ballure Hill just in time to see the royal yacht sail away. So he missed out on that as well.
Well, I know, it's just one of those things though, isn't it?
It just wasn't meant to be, was it?
And it is quite nice in a way, because you think often, or at least in more modern times, shall we say, maybe sometimes Ramsey becomes the sort of the second part and everything seems to happen in Douglas. So in this particular case, Ramsey scored all the points and everything was up north, and in this occasion Douglas came second, so balances things up a little bit, which is quite nice. And so in the intervening time, has it ever been used for anything else, or did it ever fall into disrepair in its history? Has it always been fairly well maintained?
It's always been fairly well maintained, because particularly in the Second World War, it was used as a lookout post right up until 1945. With the two airfields in the north, it was very important that there should be a permanent lookout up the tower here to spot anything unusual going on in the sea or in the air.
Yes, absolutely, and you can see that would be absolutely perfect for it, I must admit. Although I'd rather be here not during wartime than during wartime, I think.
I think so, but yeah, what a place. This is fantastic.
Yeah. Have
Really
you tried doing a
is.
360 right the way around to show the view all the way around?
I've tried. We'll see how it comes out.
Oh, well done.
Yeah,
Oh, that's
we'll
good.
see. We'll see. But if you can make it to these open days in October, then it will be well worth coming up here to have a look, and hopefully it'll be a lovely autumnal day.
Absolutely. So just remind us of the dates and what's happening again for these open days later in the year.
It'll be the first 2 Fridays of October. It will be organised by Manx National Heritage. I intend to be the guide, and I'll have 2 assistants as well. And there'll be a maximum of 4 in each party. Well, as you can see, there are 4 of us up here right now, that's enough.
Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't sensibly get more.
No.
No, definitely.
And there'll be 6 tours a day, 10, 11 and 12, 2, 3 and 4 o'clock.
And do people, they apply online, or how do they get onto the tours? Do they just turn up or online?
No, you can't just turn up.
Yeah.
You have to apply online. Anybody who turns up unexpectedly, I'm afraid, won't be going up the tower.
Disappointed.
Yes.
You'll be like Douglas if you just turn up, I'm afraid. You'll be left wanting.
And you really wouldn't want that. Take the opportunity, if you can, get up the Albert Tower and see Ramsey from such a wonderful vantage point. Thank you again to Trevor and Peter for making that happen for us.
Terrific stuff. Quick time for a rummage in the Manx radio vaults. We go in, we rummage, we bring out a cassette. This one is marked Millennium.
Oh.
I'll get it going. It is Millennium Lap of Honour, 21st of May, 1980.
Oh, right. Very timely, coming that TT is going to be soon upon us.
Well, I saw the box was marked TT, and other than that, I just dipped in.
Oh.
and I don't think I have ever in my life seen so many people on Glencrutchery Road before the start of an event. The press from the world are gathered here, and what a tremendous feeling it is seeing those machines down there, the riders. Well, I can assure you they are there. There's so many people I can't even see them, but I think somewhere in the middle of all the hullabaloo down there is Chris Carter, and I think he's fought his way through to talk to one or two of the riders. Chris?
Yes, and who better to start with at this time than John Surtees, who's just cleaning some of the flies from the last time he raced around the TT circuit off his goggles. How are you feeling, John?
Fine, rather nervous, I suppose.
Well, have you actually been around the circuit this week just to see where the corners go?
Well, I've been around in a car and I borrowed somebody's Honda six-cylinder just to do a couple of laps. It's been very little of where they're going, but 19 years is a long while.
It is indeed.
Yes.
What are the changes you've noticed since you last raced here?
Well, of course, a lot of the sections are very much smoother, and there's a tremendous number of sort of apexes of corners being taken off, so that once you know it, there's a little more straight lining to be done. Basically a general sort of speed up of the circuit.
Yeah. Do you think your lap today might tend to make you want to make a bit of a comeback more regularly to motorcycle?
You don't go back now.
Well, you're going to go forwards to what will be a very interesting and enjoyable one. So we'll quickly move on round now. Lots of people on the grid, and with his helmet firmly on his face is Ralph Bryans. I don't know whether Ralph can hear me. What do you feel before this race then, Ralph?
And that was always the problem with those MVs. Once they got going, you couldn't hear a thing.
Oh, the wonderful Peter Neal.
It's great to hear his voice again. And the great John Surtees as well. A wonderful, fantastic bike rider. And yes, marvellous memories of that one. You know, that's going to be more or less it for another week. Where does the time go?
I wonder.